All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start this lesson off as always by giving all glory, honor, and thanks to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son for this wisdom and knowledge. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakal Kadash, as well as double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone and to the rest of the Akim and elders around the globe bringing this word out within truth and diligence. So this is just a prophecy update from a YouTuber, Black Ram 313. He's a prominent figure in the what's known as the Black Manosphere. You got the Manosphere, the Black Manosphere, which relates to MGTOW, men going their own way, SYSBM, Save Yourself Black Man, Passport Bros, Black Pill, Red Pill. Black Ram 313 refers to himself as Real Pill, and even the elder, Shalom to the elder Hawad of GMS, North Carolina, Raleigh. I'll occasionally see him tapped in as well. So he brings out a lot of prophecy and basically a lot of domestic as well as global news. And this was yesterday. I'm watching it and just prophecy popping off like popcorn. So let's get to it with the first clip.
America, when the collapse happens, when World War III happens, will be the worst place on earth to be. I know you all don't think so. A lot of you guys are pro-American. I'm not mad at you. You have a right to feel the way you want to feel. But this is not a homogeneous society, and there's a lot of tension here. And it only can get worse. Only can get worse, as we have seen, right? Prototype says when the AI.
All right, and let's look up that word homogeneous. It says of the same kind alike. In Babylon the Great, the United States, a lot of these Western countries, but America in particular, is in the scriptures known as the land of many waters. Because you got, not only do you have U.S. embassies on all four corners of the earth, you got people from different nations, languages, cultures, all mixed in Babylon the Great. It's the great melting pot. So this will speak on it. And we got a couple scriptures on that. Jeremiah 51:13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, in the measure of thy covetousness. Okay, and let's get another one in Revelation that refers to America being the land of many waters. This is Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right, so we established that America is the land of many waters, and you got people from all over the world dwelling in here. But pretty soon, and it's happening already, this place is going to get so bad because a lot of these heathens in particular, they already got land from their home nation. They have a homeland they can go back to, whether it be East Africa, somewhere in Asia, Europe, etc. They can go back to their lands, but they're gonna see as inflation kicks in, the dollar starts to collapse, lawlessness rises. A lot of these people that can afford to they're gonna flee out. So let's get this is Isaiah 13. Start at 14. And it shall be as the chaste roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. So that's what you heard Black Ram 313 say. When America collapses, it's gonna be the most dangerous place on the planet, and that's prophecy. It's gonna be crazy out here. But who's gonna be dwelling in here mainly that can't afford to leave, and who been headed the worst from start? That's Judah, so-called blacks. And it speak on further down from the 13th to the 19th chapter about so-called Negroes getting busy out here when in that day of Jacob's trouble. This is Isaiah 19 verse 17. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he hath determined against it. And Jake in particular Judah gonna get extra busy out here. Okay, so let's go to the next clip.
Reverse ATMs. Yes. Yes. Just another arrow pointing toward the cashless society, Maurice Martin. Here we go.
And this is how they plan on taking the money off of the streets.
Things are changing fast in this digital world, so much so that a growing number of businesses will not even accept cash anymore.
Yeah, they are starting to set up reverse ATMs. It quickly turns cash into a prepaid debit card to be used on the fly. And Dre Clark explains from New York City. Dre, I've never heard of this. Mitch has never heard of this. What's it about?
Yeah, I never heard of it either until I read about it last night. It's relatively new, but it's slowly but surely catching on. Cash is really still king, but reverse ATMs are definitely the way of the future as more businesses look for ways to go cashless. Here at Madison Square Garden in Midtown Manhattan, they already have machines inside the arena that can actually convert your cash into a debit card here. Now, here you can see exactly how it works. You load money into a kiosk like you see here, and within seconds, you can get a receipt confirming your conversion and a prepaid active card. Many of the prepaid cards are either MasterCard or Visa, and you can use them anywhere where those cards are accepted. Some kiosks may actually charge you a $5 fee for the card. Meanwhile, amusement parks, fast food restaurants, and many professional sports venues are already using the cash to card kiosks, and you'll start seeing more of them in airports and on college campuses. Business owners say they like the kiosk because it helps prevent theft and robberies, and it stops the spread of germs that can really be found on a lot of money that's downright dirty. Now, many people started going cashless during the pandemic because they did not want to touch money and coins, fearing they could contract the virus.
They want us to believe that money is carrying all these germs, yet the credit card machine that you're actually touching, the gas pump that you're touching, none of that has it. It's always sanitized.
Well, cities across the country like San Francisco, DC, Philly, and New York, they actually have bans on cashless businesses. So business owners, by law, cannot refuse to accept any cash from a customer. Also, get this, the FDIC says up to 5% of U.S. households, or 6 million Americans, are considered unbanked. That means they don't have either a checking or savings account. They prefer to deal in strictly cash. So yeah, guys, it's relatively new, but here in New York City and other places around the country, this is the way of the future.
It's only the wave of the future if everybody chooses to participate.
Facts, facts, facts.
All right, and who's behind this system, this diabolical system? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Amalek, the Jewish people, is the chief. He's the one that's really in control of all these banks. And this is one of his scriptures refer to the so-called white man, Esau Edom, and Amalek being moving like a serpent, as well as being a cunning hunter. And one of his tactics he uses is gradualism. He will slowly lead up to his main goal, to where you don't. It's kind of like the frog in boiling water. You put a frog in room temperature water and set it to a boil, he cooks to death because he don't notice the difference. But you put a frog in boiling water, he jumps right out. And that's what Esau's doing right now. He's turning the temperature up, which is all leading to his wicked MOTB, the mark of the beast. A complete digital system that makes you a slave, and he can control and watch everything you're doing. So let's go back to Revelation, the 13th chapter, and start at verse 15. And this is what it's leading up to rapidly. 13 verse 15, Revelation. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 666. Okay, so we spoke on, civil war, America being a breeding ground for looting in all these cities, the MOTB, a digital. Let's go to the next one.
Johnny B, appreciate you, dear brother, but cashless, huh? Take from that what you will. What up, Big Godzilla verse? Reginald Green, appreciate you again, sir. He says, I tested rainwater 5 days ago with a tested kit, and it was bad water, like your house sink water. Not surprised, man. Listen, it seems like the whole planet is contaminated, man. The whole planet. More fine.
And he just says that nonchalantly, but it's true. This is where we're dwelling in a cesspool under he who's ruling it. He's ruling, the so-called white man is ruling the planet into the ground. This is 2 Thessalonians verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And perdition means destruction. Let's also get another one in Isaiah. Try to move quickly. Isaiah 24, 4 and 5. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people, haughty meaning arrogant, the haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. It also speaks about that in Daniel 7:25. Let's get one more, Romans 8. And this is speaking on, it's not just people suffering, the whole planet, the plants, the water, the animals, air. Romans 8, verse 22. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. What's that now speaking on? In the kingdom. But Esau Edom, he is the end. He's the last one to rule before the kingdom. So he has to get thrown down in order for the kingdom of righteousness to be established. So let's go to the next clip.
Great point. United States, man, is just, oh my goodness. Here's the thing. I'm not surprised that America is folding up like a scroll, but what I am surprised at is the speed at which is happening. I mean, there's new developments every day about this big financial collapse that's going to come to the USA. Check this.
And this also speaks, because this is United States is basically Esau Edom's headquarters. It's his crown jewel, and it's sinking rapidly. Now he thinks that he's going to be able to collapse it and then recover it, but the Lord he's fooling him. So this is Luke 10th chapter verse 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. And what's lightning? It's quick. It's sudden. And that's what's happening to Esau Edom and his reign at the top. Chiefly being most prominent in America, you can see his fall and his global dominance. It's rapidly just degenerating. And there's another one. Isaiah. This is Isaiah.
Would you give me a drink?
Isaiah the 47th chapter, verse 1 in the NLT. The humiliation of Babylon, verse 1. Come down, virgin daughter of Babylon, and sit in the dust. For your days of sitting on a throne have ended, O daughter of Babylonia. Never again will you be the lovely princess, tender and delicate. And that's what, most of the people around the world and in America that have eyes and are paying attention and not zombies are seeing happening.
I think what they're going to do is create starvation and then high, inflation. And then we have anarchy, we have revolution. And the great American empire comes down. And we have the weakest president in history. This guy Biden, who sells his soul to the highest bidder. As we all know that, oh no, he didn't do that. Well, give me a break. I think his son Hunter was doing. He's the bagman. You know what I mean?
And you heard him say this is the end of the American Empire. And this is, the Lord said he would hit up Egypt with plagues. And we're seeing it in full force. We can't go a damn week. And I try to Google how many train derailments. That's what I was actually going to do a lesson on the level of the number of train derailments. I couldn't find it. We've lost count. I don't know how many trains have derailed carrying hazardous materials and poisoning and further polluting the water supplies. So let's get 2nd Esdras 15 verse 11, and we'll bounce around between 2nd Esdras. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And the key part of that is as before, because it also says, pursuing to Deuteronomy 28:68, that I will bring you into Egypt again, but this time through ships, referring to there's an Egypt of the past and the Egypt of the future, which would be present day, and that's the United States. So let's get the next one. Speaking on, he spoke on famine, and it's going to be anarchy out here. And we'll go probably back to that 15th chapter. This is 2nd Esdras 16, verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger, Salakia, the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So it's gonna be wild in these streets. And let's go back into 15, further down at verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And you just heard this guy. I believe this is Robert Kiyosaki, the guy of the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. So he's got some economic insight. He can see it clear as day. And what does this time frame that these scriptures and what we're rapidly entering into, what is that known as? That's Jacob's trouble. Where are we? 30. And who's Jacob? So-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, in the speckled birds that look like the other nations, but forefathers go back to Jacob. It says Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And a little bit, we're gonna have a couple scriptures that refer back to that. So let's keep going.
So
and yet and still it's so egregious what they're doing. Robert Kiyosaki has asked a question, man, do they want you to starve? Well, shit, it definitely seems like it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's listen to this.
Now we have our first stunning piece of video from the FDIC and a stunning meeting that they held in November that they don't want you to see. You're going to see members of the FDIC and other panel discussions in this FDIC meeting. It's not just FDIC members. It's lawyers, it's bankers, but they're all around a table admitting that a crash is coming. This is amazing. Watch.
And basically, this video is kind of long. I'm gonna just summarize it. It's, all the high ranking of Babylon the Great, speaking on their devilish plans and details. And the plan is to economically collapse America so they can bring in a solution. What's that solution? We spoke on it earlier. That MOTB, that digital currency. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna take away all these businesses, which they helped do during that COVID-91. All the medium, smaller businesses collapsed. So we had to further rely on the big Walmarts and Amazons. Then all these food processing plants are being burned left and right. We saw in 2022. as well as, you know, you got the water supplies being contaminated. He's going to collapse the America in every way, shape, or form. So we have to rely on him. But it speaks on in Job that his plan's going to come to naught. This is going to be Job 5 verse 12. He, meaning Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And let's get another one further in verse 20 in Job. Job 20:23. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh, the heavenly Father, shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So once he starts chipping everyone up, and he thinks, oh, I got the plan. I got it. I came through with my plan. That's when Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going, he's going to send his son and the holy angels to come back and crack the clouds with those so-called UFOs. He's also going to launch them arrows, them ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles from all around. America got a lot of ops, and they not going to hold back a clip on America. And his kingdom is going to fall like lightning. So let's keep going. Because I believe Black Ram 313, he speaks more that we can get.
They're planning to run away, man, with your money, man. And it does seem like these banks are on the verge of collapse. I don't know if it's going to happen now, later, this year, next year, but something strange, and it don't look good, and you don't have anybody to call. Shane Powell says,
and that's the key. Most people won't have anyone to call. That's why the men of the Lord are going to be as fine gold, because they're going to call on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Lord willing, I be of that number, and the rest of the Akim be of that number. This is so he said, ain't no one gonna have no one to call. The Isaiah 13:12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And that man's talking about the true man of the Lord, the elect, the 1/3, to make it out in these evil days. And that's the spirit. I just watched what's that movie with Denzel? Salaki, I'm drawing a blank right now. But I just watched a movie, and he was clearly a man of the Lord. Oh, Book of Eli. He was, he had a lot of tribulation, a lot of hell on his path, but he was on a mission, and he made it through. He completed the mission. Lord willing, I and the rest of the Akim can be of that. As well is, it speaks on that in 2nd Esdras about, how terrible of a day that's going to be, and who's going to save us out of that. 2nd Esdras 16 verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And 2nd Esdras basically talking about what we're the blueprint to what we're seeing now, is societal collapse, just complete anarchy. Like it said in Alas, Jacob's trouble, that day none is like it. And so, Lord willing, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and the holy angels can protect us and save us out of the evil day that's rapidly approaching. And I believe there's a little more he said.
Ram, they recently did a survey about war and who will stay and fight. Black American men came out number 1, willing to fight. Damn. So that tells you something. Damn. Yeah.
And, Judah is that Black American men being most willing to fight. It refers back to that as Judah, so-called Negroes, being like a lion. Because we also spoke on that on Isaiah 19:17, that Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. And this is Genesis 49 verse 9. Judah, being the so-called Negroes, is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? And Esau Edom's going to rouse up Judah, he's gonna collapse everything, make it tough for Judah, and Judah gonna tweak out here. So let's get the last one, and we'll close out.
World, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but let's get it.
WHO have just issued an urgent warning of a potentially hazardous germ bomb after Sudanese fighters seized the national laboratory in the country's capital. For perspective, Sudan's WHO representative said that the lab contains samples of diseases and other biological material, including polio, measles, and cholera. And those are just the ones that they're bloody telling us about. A high-ranking medical source said that the RSF forces have taken control of the lab, and medical technicians no longer have access to the facility. They said that the danger lies in the outbreak of an armed confrontation in the laboratory, because that'll turn it into a germ bomb. Well, that's a new one. And tomorrow marks the end of the 72-hour ceasefire, raising worries of what could happen next. But as always, as things develop, I'll keep you guys updated.
Laboratories with germs, viruses could possibly be released, man. I don't know, man. Scary times. Scary times. And I want to travel. So that's the last thing I want to see. The last thing. In fact, one of the reasons why I am so gung-ho about travel is because it seems like you may not be able to do that as readily in the coming future. Not something we haven't had before, but I at least want to get a few trips out the way.
And let's speak on that travel in 2nd Esdras. Speaks about man trying to enter a city and won't be able to. 2nd Esdras 15:17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And in previous is speak on sedition among men. And as well as, you heard Black Ram 313 referring to the times as being scary. And if grown men are scared out here, how much more you women? Jeremiah, I believe, in the 50th chapters speaks on men becoming as women. And this is going to be in all the hell that he's described in his videos. This is what the Most High sent his prophets for. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai sent men to warn his people as well as the heathen nations, the judgment that's going to come upon him, but his people to turn and repent. So they don't get caught up in this windstorm of hell. So this is going to be Jeremiah 28 verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what we're seeing. So I hope this lesson was edifying. Shalom.